Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a lady that I put together from pieces received at a Monsterwood event. We were getting the chance to get 40 cells of her at a time. I was lucky enough to get that 3 times, so I have more than enough to put her together. This, of course, is Little Red Furry Cap. Unfortunately, she's got a lock ruin slot, but she's kind of short, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know. It does say little, it's not me. You know, I'm not judging, just saying. So she's little. Anyway, she's a legendary. She's darkness. Okay. Beware the little ones. They're evil. Alright, in terms of where I'm going to put her, options are quite limited, frankly. So she's going to be living by herself for a while. Whether or not that's a good idea or not, we're going to have to see for the future. Okay, didn't see that coming. I guess she merged with the wolf. Okie dokie. Okay, I guess I finished off the families 2 rank. I guess I did. Alright. Okay, there she is. Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to be kind of lonely for a while. We're going to have to work something out. Space. Space is a really big problem. So, no, we're not going to be calling you that. We'll come up with a nice name for you. We'll come up with a very nice name for you. So anyway, this is Little Red Furry Cap. She is a legendary. She's darkness. Apparently, she's immune to nightmares. Well, it's good that she doesn't have nightmares, given, of course, her issue with being a terrifying wolf. Her power does seem to be slightly better than her speed. Her life is a little... Is she a little bit above normal there? I think she might be just a little bit above normal. Probably just under 10,000 in the end when we get her to 60. So let's just check out some skills here. We'll see what kind of skills she's got. Okay, bigger eyes. Deals low physical damage. And then we have wolf tails. Deals low dark damage. And of course that really scary special skill we saw. Eat you easier. Okay, deals very heavy special damage to all enemies, may give nightmares to all targets, may make targets bleed. Okay, so she's immune to nightmares, she gives nightmares. Okay, this cute little girl was once bitten by a wolf, and she's been acting a bit weird ever since. I noticed that, by the way. Whenever she has a tantrum, she grows thick brown hair all over her body and starts howling. You know, they might make pharmaceuticals for that. Her mom just can't get her under control anymore. Well, that's typical with any teenager. Just saying. So maybe she's just a normal teenager who happens to sprout hair and fangs whenever she gets upset. What could possibly be a problem with that, a teenager getting upset? Oh, I see what the problem with that is. Yeah, let's start feeding her up there because, if she's small like that, she's not anywhere near as terrifying when she gets a tantrum, right? So that just seems like a really good idea. All right, let's get her up to level 4. Okay. I notice we have ears now. They're not the typical ears. Okay, yeah, we're just Didn't even wait for that, did we? Right in the teens. Don't even have to grow up. What's in the basket there? Is that like gems? I think she's got gems in the basket there. It's time to start going on with skills. And I have a pretty good idea where those skills are going to be going. I'm guessing there's going to be nightmares and bleeding and such. So let us continue to level 7 and her first skill. Red Disguise. Deals moderate special damage, 50% chance of making target bleed. Yes, that's just what I thought. Just what I thought was going to happen. Wouldn't surprise me if the next one gives nightmares. And level 10. Red Cap Nightmares. Deals low dark damage, 50% chance of giving nightmares. Yeah, I figured that was going to be the way. Kind of low on the damage, but it's an early skill. Alright, so let's continue to level 15 and another skill. Bigger Ears. Deals moderate dark damage. Okay, and 2-round cooldown. That's a little on the harsh side. For your first, moderate hit. Yeah, 2-round cooldown. Starting to grow a little bit concerned there. Because the first 2 each had 1-round cooldowns, even though they were 50%. Oh, yeah, that one and that one. Well, that one is a 3-round cooldown. Why does that one have a 3-round cooldown? Yeah, I'm starting to grow a little bit concerned, frankly. Anyway, we're just going to give her every chance here, though. Let's get her up to level 20. Her next skill. Grandma's Nightmare. Deals low dark damage to all enemies. May give nightmares to all targets. Big stamina cost. Lots of big cooldown there. So I'm not sure what to do with this one. I very seriously doubt whether or not this is the one I'd put in the first place. If it is, then she's... yeah, not really, no. I'm thinking I'm going to put it over there. I mean, it's the same cooldown. It just gives nightmares to everybody, right? It's actually more damage, too. I mean, I don't understand why this is a 3-round cooldown. The new one, fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just don't understand why this old one, which is clearly, like, very low damage. I mean, this one looks like borderline moderate damage here on the left. I just don't understand why this other one is a 3-round cooldown. So we'll just have no problem getting rid of it. I just can't imagine that whatever, she's got to have something better up there. I'm hoping maybe a group bleeding. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. So if she's got a group nightmares at this level, maybe she's got a group bleeding. So I guess we're going to find out. Maybe at level 25 in her final evolution. Bigger mouth. Removes 75% of target's maximum life. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. Well, I'm not going to keep that, so we'll just throw it there for now. Okay, that's interesting. Of maximum life. That could be useful. And there she is. Isn't she adorable with the furry ears? Okay. Until she did that. Yeah, until she did that. All right, so let's go to level 30 and see what else she's got here. Wolf Crew. Deals low special damage to all enemies. May make all targets bleed. All right, so that's the one I was kind of hoping for. You know, it's a little early to be putting it there, but I think I am going to put it up here. It's just that given her skill sets, other than like damage upgrades, I don't see her getting anything better for that first spot. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm just going to put it there. If I have to try to fix her later, that's fine. But I really think that's probably going to be it. Because as far as I see, she makes you bleed, she gives you nightmares, and that seems to be about it. So maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Maybe at level 35. Grandma's Claws. Deals heavy special damage, may make target bleed. Alright, so obviously, it's a 0 cooldown, it's special damage, and it's got bleeding, so obviously we're going to put it here. Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. That's a good skill. That's a very, especially considering the cooldowns on the other skills, that's a very good one to get. Alright, let's get to level 40. We should probably have 2 more left. Hunter's Nightmare. Deals heavy dark damage, maybe of nightmares. I don't know about that one. I like this 25% of maximum health one. Especially if you have somebody with an enormous amount of health. I mean, that could just, boom, finish him off. I'm going to keep this one. You know, nightmares... no, I mean, I have a 0 cooldown right here, which is, yeah, it's the same damage, but it's special damage, and it's got bleeding, which is better. And I want to keep this one, if at all possible, because 25%, that could be very good. That could be a lot of damage if you're talking about one of them mountains, you know, especially if they have a lot of health on them. So I'm just going to say no to this one, although I'm sure I'm going to see it again. All right, I think we might get one more new one. We'll see. Red Disguise, that's an early one, very early one. All right, level 50. Hunter's Nightmare, like I said, we're going to see that one again. And level 55, let's see. Red Cap's Nightmare, that was an early one too. All right, does she not have any more skills? Come on, she's got to have skills, right? Red Cap's Nightmare. All right, so we're going to just take a quick look here to see if something eluded me. I guess not. Hold on. Oh, this one. We never got this one. Bigger Hands. Deals massive special damage. That's tricky. She doesn't have an enormous power, though. You know, I think the bleeding would end up doing more damage over time. I mean, she's already going to have them bleeding, though. You could make that argument. She's already going to have them bleeding. Well, you know what? I don't have it right now, so I don't have to make that decision right now. But I mean, yeah, she's probably already going to have them bleeding. So I really probably would go with the damage. I'd probably go with the damage. All right, let's look at her final stats here. Level 60. Yeah, her power is a bit higher than her speed. So yeah, I think the massive damage isn't so bad. All right, 9,500 health. I guess that's around normal. That's around normal. I guess you really have to be above 150 in order to have something better to start with there, right? She's got the power. She's got power. She's got some decent speed. Speed isn't terrific, but it's not bad either. It's not going to slow her down. She seems to make you bleed. She seems to give you nightmares. That's what she does. So let's just take a look at the skills, and then we'll see what we're going to do here. All right, let's go to the beginning here. This was these, of course, are the skills that I chose. There is one, of course, that didn't pop up that I probably will swap in. All right, let's start with this one. Wolf Crew deals low special damage to all enemies, may make all targets bleed. So she's got one like this for nightmares. These are not going to do a lot of damage. These are about the dots. She can pile 2 sets of dots on you. I put this one in the front because bleeding is better than nightmares. There's actually a lot of creatures who are immune to nightmares. There are now creatures who are immune to bleeding, but there's not a lot of them. The newer ones. The older ones, there's a lot of older ones that are immune to nightmares. Besides, bleeding does more damage than nightmares, so it's really superior. So if she's going to do something to start a fight, I would rather have everyone bleeding. Just the way I am. All right, then we have this one. Grandma Claws. Deals heavy special damage, may make target bleed. Now, this one, the one we had in the first place, bleeding, 3 turns. It's got a 3-round cooldown. So there's only 1 round, if she does it continually and the fight goes on, that she won't be able to have the other side bleeding. So this one really isn't very useful. See, I had the choice between this one or one that or a darkness attack that gave nightmares. So I just chose this one. The thing about it is now we know that I didn't see one of the skills, which was a massive special damage attack with a 0 cooldown. When I get that one, I will substitute it for this one. Don't need the bleeding. If they didn't get bleeding, they're probably immune to it or something came up. Maybe they resisted it. But I mean, I would rather have the bigger damage hit. I just think it's more useful. I'm going to switch that one when it comes up. All right, so then we have this one. Bigger Mouth. Removes 25% of target's maximum health. That could end up being very useful. Now, if it's a low damage, a low health creature, I should say, not as useful. If it's something that's got like over 100,000 health, that could be very useful. Especially, if the fight goes on for a longer period of time, she can just keep taking those 25% chunks because it is maximum life. It's not current life, maximum life. So she can outright kill somebody who is very hurt with this. I would want to see this one in action, but this looks like a really good skill. Partial, I wouldn't say boss killer, but definitely removing big threat stuff. So I'd like to test with it. I'd like to test with this one. All right, and then we have Grandma's Nightmare. Now, deals low dark damage to all enemies, may give nightmares to all targets. Now, this is very similar to the first one, except the first one here is special damage and causes bleeding. This one is dark damage and gives nightmares. Like I said, there's a lot more things that are immune to nightmares, but nightmares, even if it isn't, it's a lower dot. But if she gets both of them off, stacking dots is a great way to kill some things. For instance, like I said, if you have big meaty things, nightmares, bleeding, all of them, they take a percentage of the health away. It's not a solid value. It's a percentage of the health. So if you have things that got a lot of health, dots can really, really do the job. For instance, I don't like going into a battle against like a big old Oros, unless, of course, I have things that have dots, which I know I can pick away at their health that way, Even if they do like the Everest in the case of an Oros, and they double their health, it doesn't matter. It's just going to do double the damage. because it's always going to be a percentage, which is kind of awesome. So she's actually good at whittling down very meaty individuals, especially when you got this one along. She's got like 2 sets of dots. She can do this, and then she can go in for what I'm going to replace it with, a big old hit every once in a while. And her power is a little bit better than her speed, so she can actually do the damage. See, this and this are not really going to do physical damage. They're not. This one doesn't seem to be affected by power. So if you're going to be doing power with her, it's really for what's coming up. The one that I didn't get. The bigger teeth one. I think it was called bigger teeth. That could be very, very useful. I think that's kind of her role. I don't know if you'd really use her in multiplayer, Killing big things, yeah. Killing big things, yeah. Like, as I understand, we might have more Titan invasions coming up. She might be useful for something like that. Putting dots on, doing percent. I doubt that the percentage of health thing will actually work. But you never know. It might be useful in the future. She might be very useful for the adventure map, too, if for those of you who haven't completed it and actually won all those wonderful gems. So in terms of runes, well, of course, I have one of her slots open, but assuming all the slots are open, you'd want damage on her, take advantage of that one big hit. Speed, you might want to have speed on her. That way she can get the dots off a lot more, and that 25% hit. You got a motivation there for maybe putting 2 speeds on her. Because the more often she can do that 25% hit and stack the dots, that could be very, very useful. So, in this case, you might consider a damage in 2 speeds on her. She doesn't have any denial at all, but in terms of stacking dots and getting that 25% hit off, that could be very damaging. It's something to consider. Really depends on how you intend to use her. She doesn't seem to have that much of a stamina issue. So I don't think you put stamina on her. You wouldn't have to have a problem with stamina. Health, you could buff her up, but I don't see the purpose of that. I really don't. So what I'm thinking in terms of is a damage and 2 speed. The more dots she gets off, the more off she gets that 25% off. Because remember, the 25% and the dots, you're only really putting strength on her for that one hit. That's the way I see it from the skills that I got. Might change my mind depending on how that 25% hit works. Gonna have to test it. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. This is little Red Furry Cap. She's not so bad. She's interesting. I'd like to definitely test with her in the future. And I have a lot of individuals that I actually need to test. I'm gonna have to do one of those really soon. And I have a storage problem, so I'm kind of afraid of putting anybody with her. She might just eat them. So anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya!